Welcome to the IDP Start Sit Show for Week 9. We're here to answer your questions, both offense and IDP, to help you bring victory home this week. I am your host, Ricky Rodriguez. You can find me at RickyRod66. I am joined by the IDP Savant, also in his partial Halloween costume, Shawn T. You can find him on X at Shawn8386. We're thrilled to be with you on Sunday, November 2nd, the ninth weekend of the NFL regular season. It's crazy that we're already into the ninth season, Shawn.
Already, man. It's we're on the back slope now.
Yeah, but a lot of people are still fighting for playoff berths. Unless you're at about 0 wins right now, you still have a shot, even at 2 wins. All you got to do is squeak into the playoffs. You don't have to be at the top of the playoffs. So
Most of my championship teams were not undefeated or 1-loss teams or 2-loss teams. They were gritty and just snuck in and just needed a chance.
And sometimes that's all it takes. And and if you've been managing your roster throughout the year, hopefully you can peak at the right time. Well, look, let's start off by hitting some of the key IDP storylines. Of course, in Buffalo, we'll start there. Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano both had a full practice on Friday, not on the injury report. Shaq Thompson is also out after the Bills screwed with everybody and didn't announce till after the game started that Terrell Bernard was there only for emergency purposes. Otherwise, he wasn't going to play, and he didn't. A lot of people had him in the lineup. At this point in time, it looks like both of them will be active and both of them will be playing. Devin Lloyd, limited and questionable. They did call up a linebacker from the practice squad, which leads me to believe that he won't play, but we'll know a little bit more when the inactives come out. But remember, Devin Lloyd is in the afternoon session, so if you're holding out hope to play him, you better have a backup plan for the afternoon session. There's only 3 games in the afternoon window. Then there's one Sunday night, one Monday night. So make sure you have a backup plan there. Dre Greenlaw returns. How much he'll play is a question. Shawn will come back and talk about that in a minute. Quay Walker suddenly didn't practice on Thursday, was limited Friday with a calf. He's listed as questionable. We'll have to see on him. Luckily, he's in the early window. J.C. Bertrand got trashed by his head coach earlier this week. Expect him to start, but do not expect him to play a full complement of snaps. If you listened to this show last week, you would have heard me say there is risk with Frankie Louvu. You would have heard me also to say Jordan McGee is a sneaky pickup. McGee played 84% of the snaps, and it sounds like, based on the comments, that will continue in terms of from a role perspective. D. Winters is questionable, limited practice on Friday. Shawn, we're going to come back and talk about that one as well. Cole Holcomb was declared out yesterday with an illness. Malik Harrison was activated, though. We'll talk about that in a second as well with Peyton Wilson. Trevin Wallace is questionable. If he doesn't play, it'll be Roseboom with the green dot and Claude Charles as the number 2. Logan Wilson has a calf issue and is not going to play. So let's go back and talk about a few of these, Shawn. First, let's go back to Dre Greenlaw. What percentage of the snaps do you expect him to play if you were a betting person?
I was 80 and up. Well, I think he comes into just about a full-time role. Do expect, Just Sturdad's earned his role with some of the big plays he's made. So I feel like he's still going to get some snaps, but I expect Greenlaw to be a full go.
I'm actually starting Dre Greenlaw over Dayon Henley this week. Henley has a horrific matchup, from points given up by the opposing team. Greenlaw had 6 combined tackles in 27 snaps. When he, played that limited snap count, he played half the game or the first half of the game before he got suspended last week. I'm taking my chance with Greenlaw over Henley this week. Moving on to the Falcons, are you starting J.C. Bertrand?
I'm starting him because I have to. I'm not crazy about it. He's also like my LB5, LB4 in those leagues that I have him. But I have no other options, like bone dry out there. So I'm not crazy about it. I'm hoping for a big play or something like that.
That's
But
not that's hasn't been his. I'm
yeah,
unless I'm desperate because I expect him to maybe get 60% of the snaps today. Maybe
yeah,
that.
that's where I'm at. I have absolutely no other options. It has to be a linebacker. It's not a flex spot. So he is he's my dart throw. Maybe he can get up 7-8 tackles for they bench him, and then. But I mean, if you have another option, or if it's a flex spot where you can put a safety in there who's guaranteed to play a full game, I would definitely play the safety this week.
D Winners questionable. If he doesn't play, do you still think they stick with Curtis Robinson, who replaced him last week, or do you think they try out the rookie Nick Martin?
I
I'm
think
leaning towards Robinson still.
Yeah, I'm going Robinson as well. He's been there long enough to at least know the system better than Nick Martin. I think he's bounced off and on the practice squad the last couple of years. I think he was even on the roster some. He may have played some last year. I don't know for sure, but he's been there long enough that I think they're comfortable with him over the rookie.
Okay, and then the last one before we start getting into some of the questions, and then we'll come back to defensive line, defense back a little bit later, Shawn. But at Pittsburgh, Mitchell Holcomb's out. Malik Harrison gets activated. Do you think Peyton Wilson plays more of a full time role, or do you think it's a Harrison Wilson platoon, just like it was a Holcomb and Wilson platoon? What do you think happens?
I think Wilson will play most of the game. I do expect Harrison to get a few snaps, maybe like a 70-30 split, maybe between those two. With all the safety injuries they have, they just about have to keep Wilson on the field this week. Just they're down to Jabril, or not Jabril Peppers. Kyle Duggar is
Jabril
probably going to
Peppers
play
is
a
out.
lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Chuck Clark is out. Jabril Peppers is out. Elliott's on IR. They almost have no choice but to play. Kyle Duggar, who they just acquired.
yeah, and I figure him and Ramsey are going to be used quite a bit in the safety role. Thornhill is probably your deep guy, and then Duggar, Jalen Ramsey are probably going to be that box role.
Exactly. I'm aligned with you on that. All right, let's jump into the questions. And Fantasy Breakout
Hold
has
on,
several
hold
here
on,
to.
hold on. I'm going to cut you off. We have a super chat.
Oh, let's start with the super chat.
They got
Thank you.
jumped in first. So
All right, and for those that aren't familiar, we don't always have time to get to all the questions, but if you use the super chat capabilities, we will guarantee that we will answer your question and spend a good amount of time discussing our rationale and so forth. So, OG says he needs two linebackers, 15 points for 3 points tackles. Does he mean, is this one? I think OG's been like, it was like 15 points for a sack and 3 points for a tackle. I believe that's what it was. Because I believe OG's been on with us previous.
yeah,
So, OG, if you're listening right now, go ahead and type that in. Shawn will be on the lookout for it. But his choices are Elandon Roberts. I'm guessing that's Peyton Wilson, not Logan Wilson.
could be Eric Wilson, could be Logan
Or it could
Wilson.
be Eric Wilson. So, OG, you need to let us know which Wilson that is as well. And we promise you we'll come back to this. So let us know if that's 15 points for a sack.
It is 15 points for a sack.
Okay, he responded that. Okay, and let's see if he responds which Wilson here.
Eric Wilson.
Eric Wilson. Okay, good. Thank you, OG. So Landon Roberts, Eric Wilson, or Christian Roseboom? Shawn, is there one that jumps to the top of the list for you?
The one I probably feel the most comfortable with is actually Roseboom because of the Wallace injury. He could still play, but he's actually probably the most efficient out of these guys with his snaps. So Roseboom is my top guy here.
I'm with you. Even if Wallace plays, Roseboom is usually fairly efficient with his, 80% of the snaps, give or take. And of course, if Wallace is out, which we'll know here shortly, hopefully in the next 30 minutes or so, then that makes it a no-brainer for Roseboom. Then it goes to Landon Roberts or Eric Wilson. Now, Landon Roberts had the very big game the week before because the offense of the Raiders was only on the field for like 35 snaps, I believe it was, which is, 30 less than an average for a game, which is just
insanely low.
insanely bad. I can't expect the Raiders will play that bad, particularly against the Jaguars. So Roberts might not have quite the same number of opportunities for tackles that he had the week before. Of course, Eric Wilson surprised us all when Cashman came back. It was Wilson that played, and he played over 80% of the snaps in not Ivan Pace. And of course, Wilson, that second Vikings linebacker role isn't always in the 80% range. So, given that, Shawn, Roberts against the Jaguars or Peyton Wilson and the Steelers
I
going
had
against the Colts,
taken
by the way.
Eric
Oh,
Wilson.
excuse me, not Eric. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. It was Eric Wilson for the Vikings going against the Lions. And the Lions give up a lot of points to linebackers.
yeah, I think that's the tiebreaker for me. Even though Eric Wilson doesn't have the full time role, neither does Roberts. Eric Wilson can get sacks and get interceptions. He's going to get tackles. Roberts is pretty much just a downhill guy. So give me the upside with Wilson and the Lions, who have definitely the better rushing attack.
Right. And we I do expect that they will keep Wilson on the field more because of the Lions running game. So Roseboom, Wilson, and Roberts. OG, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Hopefully that helps you out. And we'll try and keep an eye on inactives here.
He's got one more here.
Oh, he's got one more. Okay, terrific. Right, need two starting safeties. You need out of Kyle Duggar. I think he means Thornhill instead of Thorncliffe there. Devin Witherspoon, Malik Mustafa, and Smith from Minnesota. So Harrison Smith from Minnesota. And he's got the 15 points for a sack and 3 points for a tackle. Shawn, how you? I like some of these other names as opposed to. Well, let me let you go first. Who's at the bottom of your list? There's one at the bottom of the list, pretty easy for me.
At the bottom, I probably trust Harrison Smith the least.
Okay, I was going to throw Juan Thornhill there.
Yeah, he's not much better. I view both of those guys as the deep guys.
Okay, so those two.
So I'm more out on them. Witherspoon's not been getting it done for me either lately.
Of course, Witherspoon's been injured, and he is supposed to play today.
So Mustafa is my top guy.
I am with you, Mustafa.
He's my top guy. And I'm leaning towards Duggar, although it does carry a lot of risk on the fact that he may not play a full game, but he is a downhill guy. So
and they've been really struggling against tight ends, and part of the reason they brought him in is for him to be physical in the line of scrimmage against tight ends.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know. I mean, he's only been there a few days. He doesn't know the systems. He doesn't know all the play calls. They might throw him in there, but how much they'll throw him in?
Yeah.
That's question. So, and Witherspoon, one of the things that helps Witherspoon's is when he plays that slot, Jaden Daniels isn't quite as easy to sack as maybe Marcus Mariota was or other quarterbacks Witherspoon has played against. So in on Mustafa.
Mustafa for sure. The second this is pretty tough. I like Duggar's appeal just because from the tackle perspective. But when he played, the last couple of weeks for Jalen Hawkins, who was injured, even though he was playing near the line of scrimmage, he didn't really get that many tackles. So, yeah, this is...
typically, I like safeties over cornerbacks more, but in this case, I think I'm going to go Mustafa, Witherspoon, Duggar as my top three in that order. Shawn?
You're going to take Witherspoon over Duggar?
I think so. So which one do you think gives a better floor?
Better floor. You're probably right. It probably is Witherspoon. But how good is that passing attack? You have no Terry McLaurin for the Commanders. Got Debo, Zach Ertz. That's probably your top two options. A lot of short passes.
Which might lend a few more tackle opportunities for Witherspoon closer to the line of scrimmage when he's in the slot.
And we know Julian Love is out. So Ty Okeda back there. What about Nick Emmett-Ward? Is he going to mess up any of Witherspoon's tackle opportunities?
I don't think so. Not this week.
Don't think
All
so.
right. So final call for OG, so we can get to everybody's question.
Yeah,
Other questions. Right?
I'm actually going to take Duggar over Witherspoon. So it's Mustafa for sure. Coin flip between Duggar and Witherspoon, it sounds like.
I'm leaning slightly toward Witherspoon, but OG, I think Duggar does have a better opportunity for tackles. So I think Duggar gives you a little bit of a more of a floor. I think Witherspoon may give you a little bit more of a ceiling. Okay, so depending on how you want to play in your competition. Good luck, OG, and thank you for that super chat. Okay, Fantasy Breakout. Hi, Fantasy Breakout. Having a fantastic week. Okay, he's dropping them all at the beginning here. Okay, he first the format: 1 point for tackle, 2 points for sack, 1 for pass for interception. Okay, here we go. Now that we understand his scoring system, first up, rank the following linebackers: Oluokun, Ernest Jones, Okereke, Caden Ellis. Looking for a high tackle floor. That throws out Okereke.
Give me Ernest Jones. Then it's tricky. I want to say Ellis over Oluokun.
I don't think the Raiders are going to run the ball a whole lot. I think that's bad for Oluokun this week.
Yeah, that's. I'm taking Ellis, Oluokun, then Okereke. Actually, I'm gonna take Okereke over Oluokun.
Yeah, I think it's for me. I am Ernest Jones, Caden Ellis, Okereke, Oluokun.
Yeah, we are aligned, sir.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of rankings from a few different spots that had Oluokun much higher, and boy, the way the Raiders' offense has been, and they just haven't fed the ball to Ginty, and they keep on saying they will, and they've only done it really in one game. I just don't think the opportunities are there for Oluokun.
They could literally be on the field for 30-some snaps.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, he needs one defensive back: Derwin James, Hufanga, Geno Stone, Jaquan Brisker, or Jalen Petrie. And one of the things, we haven't gone to the defensive backs yet, but interestingly enough, the Bears signed Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who played under Dennis Allen when he was with the Saints and who Dennis Allen really liked. Maybe he moves into the Kyler Gordon role, but Brisker has not been the stud of the past, so that's just something to watch. Because he just got signed this week, I wouldn't expect anything to happen right away, but just something to keep in mind. Out of all these guys, even with the low ankle sprain, I think we go with Derwin James or
it's James or Hufanga for me. The Titans, being a terrible offensive team, could actually be on the field less snaps than normal, which could limit his productivity. I might take Hufanga with the higher floor here.
Okay. So for me, it's James Hufanga. For Shawn, it's Hufanga, Derwin James.
Yeah.
The game could be a blowout, but Derwin James could get his points and tackles before that point.
That's true.
I could see a blitz sack off the edge for Derwin James fantasy breakout before the end of the game. All righty. And the last one from Fantasy Breakout here. And last one, he's calling this a nasty selection. Colson Loveland versus Cincinnati, Hawkinson versus Detroit, A.J. Barner versus Washington.
Give me A.J. Barner on this one.
I am in the same spot as you. I'm with A.J. Barner as well.
I've actually picked him up in a few leagues as of late, and I'm starting him myself. Hawkinson has done nothing.
And J.J. McCarthy's back, and a lot of concerns there. Cole Kmet is back, and Loveland even didn't really break out even when Kmet was out. So I'm all in on A.J. Barner on this one, and to me, it's not even close. But you never know with tight ends. One of these guys could get a lucky touchdown and end up scoring more than the rest. But it's Barner for me against that Commanders team. Okay, Only Jock in the Village. Welcome back this week, Only Jock in the Village. Afternoon. It's morning for us, but wherever you are, good afternoon to you. He needs a fourth linebacker this week, tackle heavy scoring. He has D Winters, and he could pick up Landon Roberts, Drake Thomas, Darius Muasau, EJ Speed. Assuming D Winters plays and he is in the early window, I think I'm sticking with D Winters, Shawn.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Winters is one of my favorite guys this year. And, I stand by that. EJ Speed is last on this list. I would take. I think I would take Thomas over Muasau if Winters is out. I think Thomas is my next guy. Muasau, Roberts, then Speed. So I,
Seattle against Washington and Giants against 49ers. The one thing I'd say is the 49ers, after McCaffrey only had 11 touches last week, I think are going to try and get him way more involved, which means I think more running from McCaffrey, even at about 4 yards a carry, and then a lot of throws out of the backfield. So I'd lean slightly Muasau over Thomas, but hopefully D Winters is active for us. Okay, only Jock in the Village. Says he needs one defensive back with Tyke Smith on the bye. He's got Harrison Smith, Nashon Wright, so a cornerback, Kamari Lassiter, cornerback, Giannis Sanker, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. I know in the earlier question, it was hard to trust Harrison Smith, as last week was his first game with over 80% of the snaps. Now, he was uber productive in those 80% of the snaps, having 9 tackles. So are you going to roll with him, or are you going to roll with Giannis Sanker, who's been playing about 75% of his snaps deep? But Harrison Smith also played a decent amount of his snaps deep in most of the games he's played this week. Shawn, where are you leaning on this one?
it's the middle three I like the most. Kool-Aid's out. Harrison Smith's still out for me. Nashon Wright, somebody I've picked up in a lot of leagues, but I'm trying to figure out if I like him over Giannis. Lassiter is a solid corner option. He's usually good for about 5 tackles. But he's probably got a safer floor. But do I trust the Broncos to throw that much? Not really. So
And here's his scoring system.
4.5 a tackle. Oh boy. I think I still like Giannis the most. Even though he's playing more deep, Harrison Smith's playing more deep. He's been putting up numbers. He's been getting some interceptions as well. I'm taking Giannis.
I think Giannis is going to have lots of opportunities to make tackles against this Rams offense. Will be on the field quite a bit because Tyler Shuck will not be able to keep the Saints offense on the field very much. So Sanker will have a lot of opportunities. I will support you on that Sanker call. All right, let's move to Bird. Welcome, Bird. Hope you're doing well. And good morning to you, sir, as well. And there's his scoring system. Thank you for doing this. He's got to sit one out of Nate Landman, Blake Cashman, Devin White, Dre Greenlaw, and Jermaine Pratt, leaning toward Pratt because of the decreased snaps each week. The Colts, I expect them to have a good scoring game against the Steelers. Steelers will be in catch-up mode, which means they'll have to throw the ball more, which means Pratt will be on the sidelines more. I'm leaning towards Pratt as well. And I gave my thoughts about Greenlaw earlier that I'm rolling with him. So, Shawn, you in alignment there?
Between Pratt and Landman. I'm actually worried about Landman this week going against a very bad Saints team who we just mentioned could not be on the field very much this week.
That's a great call out as well.
Of course, last time I said sit Landman, he went off for like 2 sacks and all that fun stuff. So
yeah, he was Land son or Land boy for a week or 2 there.
Yeah, that's right.
And became Land Mega Man again.
I'll sit Pratt as well. I'll go with you just on the off chance that Landman does put up some big stats again this week.
All righty. So we're going to sit Pratt, and Landman would be the other choice given the matchup against the Saints and how much their offense would be on the field potentially. All right, Bird also has one more for us. Sit 2 of these defensive backs, Shawn. He said, Talanoa Hufanga, Trevin Moehrig, Harrison Smith, Quan Martin, and Malik Mustafa. He's leaning Hufanga and Moehrig as they both have been disappointing the last several weeks. You've been such a
Sitting.
Harrison Smith's
Yeah,
fan
yeah. I'm not
today.
jumping off the Harrison Smith hate yet. Harrison Smith and I'm leaning Quan Martin on this.
The Commanders have been doing this weird safety rotation thing. 2 weeks ago, Quan was in the rotation where he wasn't on the field as much, and then last week it was Reeves and Savage. So what might the Commanders do this week? I'm not quite sure. So there's a little bit risk there. I'd rather stick with the known they're going to be 100% on the field and have pretty decent positioning. So I'm
And
sitting Smith and Martin on this one, Sean.
I know Merrick has been a bit disappointing, but Carolina lost 3 offensive linemen last week. And if they can't protect Bryce Young, then that defense is going to be on the field a lot. So I'm looking for a lot of tackle opportunities for Merrick this week.
Okay. All right. Bird has 1.5 PPR. Are you sitting McCory Crosskit or are you sitting Zach Charbonnet? Or the other way, which one are you playing of those two?
I'll play Charbonnet.
I'm playing Charbonnet as well. I'm in a bad situation, a guillotine league. Boy, I really need Charbonnet this week to come through for me. I'm having to play him. So hopefully 2 touchdowns for Charbonnet. Okay, we have JJ here. He needs a third defensive lineman today. Nick Herbig versus Colts or Kayvon Thibodeau versus the 49ers. He also has Derek Brown available. But he does, it's hard when you're playing fantasy football and you get so immersed with your own personal feelings with a team there against the Packers. It's a 16-team league and it's balanced score, so he's trying to tell us there's not a whole lot out there. Herbig's only been playing about 30% of the snaps the past couple of weeks. So and so it's hard to play Herbig when Watt and Highsmith are getting so many more snaps than Herbig. And the Colts, on top of that, Herbig would need a sack. The Colts are one of the teams that are giving up the least amount of sacks this year. So that makes it really hard for Herbig. I'm having to play Alex Highsmith, and I hate it because I just don't feel like he's going to do anything. So that leaves me with Kayvon Thibodeau or Derek Brown, unless you disagree with me on Herbig, Sean.
Yeah, I'm with you on Herbig. I've benched him myself. Derek Brown actually does not have a very good matchup against the Packers. They've not been allowing very many points to defensive tackles. So I'm thinking Thibodeau's the guy here this week. It's not great. I wouldn't expect a lot, but I think he gives you the most upside.
Yeah, he gives you the best chance. Mac Jones has been struggling a little bit in the last couple of games. So there's a chance for a sack there for Thibodeau. And he'll play about 70% of the snaps versus what Herbig would play. So there you go. Good luck, JJ. We going on to 3P1. Welcome back this week. Have Benito and Verse need to hold one between Granderson, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, and redraft. Needs to hold one.
So we're going to drop two.
Those two. He's going to be dropping. So who are you keeping out of Granderson, Chase Young, and Montez Sweat?
Oh boy.
Chase Young.
Yes, between the two Saints, Chase Young's been on fire. Sweat I've never trusted, even though he's got sacks the last couple of weeks. That'll eventually stop. Granderson started hot, but he has really cooled down.
Yeah, and his playing time, part of what was contributing to that, he was playing 85% to 90% of the snaps while Chase Young was injured.
Yeah.
Since Young has been back, he's dropped all the way to 60%. His pass rush win rate has not been that great per PFF stats. Shout out to PFF. Montez Sweat is hard. And Chase Young, I'll give him credit. In the first couple of games back, he's been playing extremely well. So I'm going Chase Young on this one, Sean.
Yeah, Granderson's not getting enough tackles. If he was still getting, 6, 7 tackles a game, that would kind of counteract a sack or two. But he's not. He's getting 1, 3, 2, stuff like that. So Chase Young for me as well.
All righty. We're going over to Bird here with one more. Flacco or Darnold for a bye week fill-in? 5 points for passing TD, minus 2.5 for an interception. That's a big number for an interception.
Yeah. Man, I like Flacco, but with his shoulder not being right, I think I'm leaning Darnold.
Yeah, one hit. I like Darnold against that Washington defense regardless.
Mm-hmm.
But particularly at minus 2.5 for an interception plus the shoulder risk and all,
Yeah.
He might start, but who knows what could happen with that. One sack, and Lord knows that can happen with that Cincinnati offensive line. I'm Darnold both ways.
Yep.
All right, Fresh Prince 23 says morning and morning to you, sir. Flex question: Khalil Shakir starting Josh Allen in the same league. That probably wouldn't impact my decision. Or Chase Brown with the banged up Flacco, who we were just talking about.
Um,
Boy,
PPR
how do you feel
league.
about Shakir in that passing game against the Chiefs defense, which has just been playing outstanding? Not just
Yeah.
because they're so bad. The Chiefs have been defense has been doing fairly well all year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Josh Allen's going to have to run a lot this game. Just go Chase Brown because even if Flacco ends up getting hurt, Browning, check downs, more handoffs. Yeah, he should be in line for a good day.
Yeah, I think this is a 4 for 36 day for Shakir at best kind of thing. All right, so we're going to go Chase Brown on that one. Fresh Prince. Also from my IDP league, 5 points for a tackle, James or Hufanga, and my two safety spots. Starting Jeremy Chin, my other one, because Tyke is on bye this week.
And these are the two guys we were down to on the other question. So
On the previous
it's
question.
you're taking a risk of not a lot of snaps with James, who could still be super efficient, or more snaps for Hufanga, who may not be as efficient. So, uh, don't know that I've changed my mind any on this. Hufanga against the Texans, who I imagine will have to throw, or the Titans, who can't do much of anything. So, roll with the stud if you want. Go with James and hope for a big play to kind of save your day. If not, Hufanga might have a little safer floor this week.
So would you? So would you still? Would you play Chin over both of those guys?
Yes, I think so.
Or-
I don't. No, there's nothing that makes me think that the Raiders will not be on the field, no matter who they play.
Okay, I see Jeremy Chin tackling Travis Etienne quite a bit today, is what you're saying. Okay, or what we're saying. Fantasy sports, also known as Third Eye on YouTube, which we learned this week. Well, hello, fantasy sports. Which three linebackers should I start this week? Landman, Jack Campbell, Barrett Carter, Devin White, or Terrell Bernard? I know which one I'm not starting.
Terrell Bernard.
Terrell Bernard. That's
Yeah.
one. That's one off the list. So we've narrowed it down to the other four. I know you had a little bit of reservation about Landman earlier and how much the Saints offense would be on the field.
Yeah.
These other choices aren't too shabby either.
I like Campbell. I like White. Those are probably my favorite two. Carter, hey,
The
he's
Bears
been
have been
putting up a
trying to
lot of
run the ball a
tackles.
lot.
Yeah. Kyle Monungai this week over Landman. Yeah, I think I'm still benching Landman this week.
Yeah, and it's less about Landman and it's more about the Saints offense. And
Right.
I think most people know that I'm a Saints fan and all. I just I watched the end of when Tyler Shuck came in, and I mean they were giving him all these dink and dunk kind of things, and so his completion percentage was as high as it was only because it was late in the game and it was a big lead. And still with all that, he averaged a little bit over 4 yards per completion. I just think this offense is going to struggle really bad against this Rams defense.
Kamara's banged
So
up. Shahid's banged up. It's not a great setup. It's going to be a great day for Verse and Young, I think.
Yep. And so, by the way, I've sat Kamara in one league. I've sat Shaheed in another league. That's how little I am playing Jawan Johnson in one league right now. So
Yeah.
it's because of the lack of confidence on the Saints. Landman could sit out the whole fourth quarter. That's what I think is going to happen. Okay, Skywalker. Welcome back, Skywalker. Start Kyle Duggar with Geno Stone. And he elaborates. This, we talked about this earlier. Deshaun Elliott on IR, Chuck Clark out with illness, Jabril Peppers out with a quad injury. So it would appear that Duggar would get most of the snaps.
Yeah,
Geno Stone has been getting a lot of tackles, though, surprisingly, or a decent amount, I should say, in the last few games because of the front seven struggling so much for Cincinnati. Shawn, which way are you going?
I think I'm still taking the shot on Duggar this week. If it doesn't happen this week for Duggar, I'm cutting him and never starting him again this year.
Okay,
That's
so
just
Skywalker, it is a bit of a gamble, but I'm with Shawn on this one. I'd go Duggar over Stone, but it is a bit of a gamble, know that. So if you're in a matchup where you're like, I just need a solid amount of like, maybe 8 points, 9 points, something like that, go
yeah.
with Stone.
If you want the safe 5 tackles, it's Stone. If you're shooting upside, I think it's Duggar.
Yeah. Okay, so we are aligned on that one. All right, Harry, start Kittle or Gaston in PPR this week. It's kind of funny. I've heard several people. I was listening. I go get Starbucks for my wife, and part of my one of the few nice things I do for my wife. And I was listening to Sirius XM, and it was amazing how many people had Kittle or Gaston questions, Kraft or Gadsden questions, Bowers or Gadsden questions, because they picked them up with some of these injuries that happening, or they just made a shrewd move, and so very very interesting. So how are you feeling about this one, Kittle and the 49ers against the Giants, who Jevon Holland is questionable? We're going to check inactives here in a second.
Jevon Holland news. There's a beat writer for the Athletic, Dan Duggan, who has been hearing serious talks that Holland will be out. So that's I'm treating him like he's out. But even with that, it's Kittle for me. Yeah, he's the guy I drafted first. He's an elite talent. The Titans, as bad as they are, have really not been giving up a lot of points to tight ends. That's one of the few things they've, I guess, been decent at. Even a couple games against Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren didn't do much against the Titans. So I'm leaning Kittle. Wouldn't hate you if you started Gaston just on his recent streak, but and the fact that the Chargers have almost no running back game at all right now. I think they got 4 on IR, 3 on IR. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, but still, I'm taking Kittle. He's my stud. He's the guy I'm starting this week.
While you were talking there, I was trying to see, and I don't see the Giants inactives quite yet. So I'll be keeping an eye out for it. On the 49ers side of things, um, D. Winters is not on the inactive list. So for some of the questions earlier, I think you can roll with D. Winters and feel good about it since he's not on the inactive list. Marcus Siegel is inactive, which bodes even better for Malik Mustafa as a side note. If we're worried about do they go back to some sort of rotation.
Yeah, it looks like
Very interesting.
Quay Walker is active. Jesse Bates, I know he was banged up coming into today. He is active as well.
All right. So some of these big question marks are starting to come in with some good news. Let's hear. All right. I think you pronounce this Baloo. And by the way, Harry, I'm going to go with Kittle as well as a side note, particularly against the Giants. Okay. Baloo is saying deep league and may need Ventrell Miller. Does Devin Lloyd play today? So we talked about it earlier in the show, Baloo. He is in the late window. They did call up a linebacker from the practice squad
Yeah.
yesterday. That doesn't guarantee that Lloyd won't play, but it usually means he's trending towards not playing when they're questionable like that and they call up someone from the practice squad. If you're going to go with Lloyd, you've got to have another option in the later window. So,
I
and
mean, if you have Miller on the same team, then you're covered.
right.
But if you don't, then I would definitely have a second option ready to go because, like Ricky said, they called up some practice squad, and that usually tips their hand as to Devin Lloyd's probably not ready.
That's right. And the other thing too, Devin Lloyd was getting a lot of his points through big plays. Go
Mhm.
back and look at his tackle counts. They've been very low, and those big plays are not sustainable over time. So keep that in mind about Devin Lloyd as well, Baloo. Check that out, and you'll see what I mean. We talked about that on another show. Rougarou says, "Good morning. How y'all? Nothing good to say about anything about NOLA or Louisiana football. Well, maybe yeah, even Tulane lost. Yeah, it's bad. He also asked Jalen Petrie or Kevin Byard this week.
um,
Is
boy,
Joe Flacco going to throw a pick, or is Jake Browning going to throw a pick to Kevin Byard?
can either one of them? If Flacco's not in there, can Browning throw that far? I don't know. Uh,
Oh, that's cold. And of course, Petrie against the Broncos offense.
yeah, how much 11 personnel are they going to run? It should be fairly.
They did bring up Mercedes Lewis from the practice squad. Nate Atkins is hurt, not
That's
expected to
right.
play.
Um, I
But
think
Shawn mixes up quite a bit. They'll play a decent amount of three wide. There's no doubt about it. But even when that, so 2 weeks ago when they played a team, I forgot who it was that didn't play a lot of three wide. Petrie played the safety position and Stewart was on the bench. Then when that team did go three wide, was it Seattle? And then Petrie did go to the slot, and then that's when MJ Stewart came in. So I think Petrie will be,
so. Petrie's moving around a little more.
yeah,
Um,
I like Petrie in this one.
he's got a better tackle floor anyway. Especially lately, I think he's been what 7, 8, 9 tackles somewhere around their last couple games. Let's go Petrie. Yeah, he's a safer bet. You're looking for that big play with Byard. That's
Okay.
not always the right way. So go with the floor. Take Petrie.
All right, that sounds good. All righty. So I was sorry, I was just looking ahead to see how many questions we had. We have a decent amount. So Shawn, we're gonna have to pick up the pace here a little bit, and I'm usually the one that slows down the pace. So I'll do my best. Okay, we answered OG's questions already. So let me move a little bit forward here and let's go to one stop here. 32 team league, 7 offense, 7 IDP, only one defensive back slot. Picked up Mustafa. Is it okay to drop Delpit to make room for offensive waiver wire? Particularly if you only have one IDP slot and have no problem dropping Delpit on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, never hold on to a safety or
And
any defensive back.
yeah, exactly right. And Mustafa, I think, can be trusted, particularly what we just said. Like they just put Marcus Siegel on the inactive list for this week. So that is not an issue. Good luck to you. Red Herring says, with Love on IR, I have a spot to fill. He grabbed Okada for now. But guys like Hickman and Delpit and Starks and Tranquil and Logan Wilson and Herbig and Jalix are available. Dynasty balanced scoring.
Ooh, Dynasty. I think I like Herbig the most. But for this week, Ty Okada is the guy for me.
Yeah, so for Dynasty, Okada, excuse me, for this week, I'm going to agree with you, Okada. For Dynasty, for me, out of all these others, it'd be Herbig first and still Delpit second, only because, and I know we didn't pick Delpit in the previous question there, but Schwartz started to blitz Delpit a little bit more where they weren't blitzing him previously. So that's the one thing that why I'm still intrigued by Delpit a little bit here. So those are our thoughts for Dynasty versus this week. Red Herring, hope that helps. Joe Flacco is active. Trey Hendrickson is inactive. Logan Wilson is inactive. Rumors about him that the Bills and the Colts and one other team are interested in petitioning Logan Wilson, which is interesting. And I'm still trying to see the Giant. And Andrew Van Ginkel is active as well. Excuse me, did I say inactive? Andrew Van Ginkel is active. Sorry about that if I said that incorrectly. Where are the darn Giants? Still not seeing them quite yet on my cheating area. Blaze Higgs. I don't know if we've had Blaze Higgs before. Welcome, Blaze Higgs. Glad to have you, Blaze. And Blaze is asking, Sax Charbonnet or Chimere DK? I'm going to assume PPR for now.
Yeah, assume a flex spots. Either way, I'm taking Charbonnet this week.
Okay. The only way I'm going Chimere DK in this one is if you have decent points for return yards, because Tennessee's defense gives up a lot of points. There's a lot of kickoffs to them, and DK's getting, if you have him in a return yardage league, he's getting a lot of points from that. So that's the only way I'm playing DK. But otherwise, it's Charbonnet. Marcus, welcome back again this week. Good morning to you as well, sir. Wanting to see if Javon Howling plays. If he's out, would you roll with Belton or Petrie? I'm rolling with Petrie either way over
Yeah,
Belton.
I am too.
And would you roll with Petrie over Holland as well? The answer to me is yes.
Yep.
Okay. John Wasco. I don't know if we've had John before. Welcome, John. Pick three out of Roseboom, Quay Walker, assume that's Trevin Wallace, or Peyton Wilson. Let's do it the opposite way. Which one are you sitting out of these? Let's see.
Is
Panthers.
Wallace for sure playing is the first question.
Yeah, so let's go and see if I have an update on Carolina. Jevon Holland is inactive for the previous question, so we still definitely do Petrie over Belton either way. So that one has popped in here. Adebo,
Trevin Wallace is active.
Trevin Wallace is active. Okay, so I still don't think it changes our earlier question about Roseboom because we took that into consideration in one of the previous questions. So of these now, knowing who's active and inactive, Roseboom was still putting up more points than Trevor Wallace, even though Wallace had the green dot and where and had more of the snaps. The question almost it goes back to what we were talking a little bit earlier. We feel like Peyton Wilson will still get about 75% of the snaps, and he has been hyper efficient with his snaps. I think I'm sitting Trevin Wallace, Shawn.
I am as well. I'm right there with you. Um, Being banged up most of the week too wouldn't take much for him to get re-injured. And then he goes back to efficiency. He's just not as efficient as most of these other guys, even with a big week here and there. So yeah, give me the other three.
Yeah, and John Wasco also put, I was scrolling down, he said, oops, forgot Pace, but Pace would be fifth of these because Pace has basically been benched for Eric Wilson.
Yeah, we're
Unless he,
not playing pace at
yeah,
all. We can't. He's on the bench.
yep. Okay, next question. Fantasy Sports says, how do you rank these safeties rest of season? Oh, Duggar, Geno Smith, and Harrison Smith.
I'll know more after this week.
Harrison Smith did not play as deep as much this past week as he had been previous weeks, but I think that was more of
Game
a
script
matchup
there.
situation.
Yeah.
So, slash game script, exactly right. So, he's been playing more deep. And remember, Theo Jackson is whose snaps he took away, and Theo Jackson was playing a significant amount of snaps deep. So when they go to three safeties, Theo Jackson would take a deep safety role, allowing Harrison to come a little bit closer. But Theo played, I believe it was like 46% snaps. It was really, or maybe it was 64. I'm sorry, but it was a significantly lower number. So with all that background, and we've talked a lot about Doug already. What's your order, Shawn?
Man, I
You
don't
have to
hate
make
the
it this
order
week.
he has them in. I think I'm
Yeah.
going to stay in that order. Duggar,
Yeah.
Stone, Smith.
The other thing about Harrison Smith is he had this unknown illness, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's
Um,
been very hush.
it's been very hush, and now he's back from it, but not knowing what that is, and could there be whatever it is, some sort of relapse. So that's why Duggar, Geno Stone, and Harrison Smith are my three. And by the way, they didn't say it was personal. They didn't say a family member. It said Harrison had an illness.
Yeah.
So, okay, Rob, welcome back, Rob. Glad to have you. Thanks for putting the scoring system. Derwin James and Quentin Lake. Who do you like this week? Both of them have a chance of not playing in the fourth quarter.
That's true. Quentin Lake's been on fire. He has been on fire. But give me Derwin James over Lake.
Yeah, they're both top five options. So both should do fairly well, but the risk is both of them might be sitting in the fourth quarter because of blowout games. So you said, I'm sorry, which one?
Derwin James. I
Yeah.
feel better about him getting me the bigger play this week.
Okay. So Derwin James over Quentin Lake. Okay. Red Herring has one more for us. He needs a flex out of JD Bertrand, Drake Greenlaw, Latu, Duggar, Okada. And he has his scoring system on here. 2 tackles, 2 points for a tackle, one for an assist, two for TFL, four for a sack, three for a pass defense. and then they get yardage on sacks and interceptions as well. Bertrand, we talked about earlier. I don't, you know, I think with the way he was dogged about how bad he played and the
Yeah.
discussions about, you know, Ronnie Harrison's and Jordan Fuller's and all potentially taking those passing down snaps away from Bertrand, I don't think you can chance playing him.
Yeah. Probably not start Latu over any of these guys this week because the sack dependency. Duggar's still a risk, even though
Okada
I've picked
plays
him
a
a
lot
lot.
of Okada plays a lot of deep safety as well,
Yeah.
and he's had some good game. But then I believe it was the last one or the one before he did not play that well.
Right. Greenlaw looks like the best option here.
I'm going Greenlaw as well. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I'm running with him over Dayon Henley.
Yeah.
I do think he'll get at least 75% of the snaps, and he's been, you know, uber efficient from a tackling perspective. So, red herring, we're going to go with Greenlaw, and good luck to you, sir. Kyle, I don't know if we've had Kyle before. Welcome, Kyle. Brian Branch or Talanoa Hufanga?
Brian Branch. I'm not giving this one too much thought. It's Brian Branch is one of the top safeties out there. I'm taking him over just about everybody, even Derwin James half the time.
Do you see a blitz sack off the edge from Brian Branch? He's covering somebody in the slot, and J.J. McCarthy doesn't see him, and Branch just pow drives him to the ground.
Yeah, I see Brian Branch going off this game just on straight anger. Just from not being
Yeah.
able to play because,
Since he was suspended the week
yeah.
before, I think he's got some pin-up energy. That's a good point. So
First guy getting hit is my apologies already.
Yeah, J.J. McCarthy's going to end up in an infirmary ward after today. I picked up Al-Qadim Muhammad in a league, and I'm playing him because I think, and it's you get big play scoring. So I'm playing Al-Qadim Muhammad against that Minnesota line, even though Darrison O'Neal or the tackles are both supposed to play. I just think they're going to struggle. If you had to guess, does Delvin Lloyd play today? My guess is no. Sean's guess is no as well. Red Herring is asking Bertrand or Bernard.
Hate them both.
Exactly. We both. I think we just both barfed in our mouth with Bertrand and Bernard. There's a lot of B's there. Barf, Bertrand, Bernard.
I'll go Bernard just because he'll be on the field more, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully he doesn't get hurt again during the game as he sometimes does. But yes, we got to go Bernard over Bertrand on this one. Fernando is asking. Fernando might be new as well. Welcome, Fernando. 4 linebackers to start. So he's got Cedric Gray, Alex Singleton, Blake Cashman, T.J. Edwards, Barrett Carter, Tatum Bethune. An embarrassment of riches here. So let's go with the 2 we're not going to start and play.
That would be Singleton. Just because.
And why not Singleton real quick?
Just because Houston has almost no rushing attack whatsoever. With Greenlaw coming back, who's faster, I expect him to get to the ball before Singleton can. And I just don't trust Houston's offense whatsoever. So Singleton's out for me. And
I would agree with that rationale.
Probably TJ Edwards is the other guy I'm sitting. I think these other guys are going to be on the field more. Gray and Carter have been super tackle efficient. Bethune has as well, especially with the banged up D Winters. I think he'll get just as many tackles again this week. He's been popping off. Between Cashman and Edwards,
Cashman is going to get with the Detroit. If they're going to run the ball as much as we think they will, you got to go with Cashman. So, I mean, Fernando, congratulations on having following us in listen to our IDP advice show as well, which we do record on Tuesday nights and release on Wednesday mornings. Hopefully, y'all been following that. We'll be doing the same thing again this coming Tuesday. So look out on early Wednesday morning for that show being released. But hopefully that's why you're in such great shape and all. But Singleton and Edwards are the 2 we're sitting, but all 6 have a chance of doing really well. Okay, Rougarou is
going to be fine.
Yeah, I think you're going to be A-OK most likely. There's a scoring system from Rougarou, Dallas Turner or Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy. That's I'm taking the guy that I know is going to play. I know the matchup isn't as good for Murphy, the defensive tackles against Washington, but with Dallas Turner basically getting slapped back to the bench with Van Ginkel playing, of course Turner hasn't been the greatest the last week or so either. Give me Murphy for the
Yeah,
tackle upside.
it's Murphy for me as well. It wasn't close with Van Ginkel coming back. So good luck, Rougarou, and go Saints and go Tigers. Kel's 22. He's like, let's take a gamble. Troy Franklin with Torrey Harton with Cup expected to be out. Parker Washington, Trey Tucker, pick two.
Um,
I like me some Parker Washington in
I
this.
do too. He's my top pick as well. I like Parker Washington in this. He's going to be way more efficient than Travis Hunter or anybody else that's been out there. So Parker Washington first.
I don't necessarily feel great about Torrey Harton. He could be
Yeah, I don't either.
catches for 21. He may get a touchdown. That could be his potential saving grace. But
I'm leaning
I think I'm
Franklin
leaning
for me.
Franklin on this one as my
Yeah,
second
I
choice.
am too. With Brock Bowers coming back, I feel like that hurts Trey Tucker. He won't get his extra target this week. So, yeah, Franklin for me as well. Parker, and
And after
Franklin.
the way
Yeah,
the Raiders offense played in their last game, I'd like to see a little bit more before I go to that well. So
Tyler
Franklin,
Lockett comes in and steals the show. That's what's going to happen.
oh, not to mention that signing, which boy, if you're relying on a 33-year-old to save your season, okay, I digress. Let's go back. Red Herring has one other quick one. He's saying is start Lamlin or pull Barrett Carter Alpha Taxi.
If you can't put Carter back on Taxi, I would stick with Landman for now.
That's exactly right. That's exactly where I was. Some leagues, once you come off a taxi, you can't go back. I
Sure.
would leave him stashed there and go with Landman. But if you can do the back and forth thing, then I would probably do Carter over Landman.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay. So there you go, Red Herring. Good luck, bud. Rougarou has another one for us. If my clicker will work there. Okay. Winters, Henley, Russo, Byron, Murphy, Herbig, pick three, s'il vous plaît, which means please, Sean.
I understood that one. I know like three phases. That is one of them.
Okay, which two are we dropping out? Is I think we got to leave out Herbig based on the playing time.
Yeah, Herbig's out. Want winners.
You know, I talked about how I'm playing
Oh man,
Greenlaw v. Henley. I don't like it, but
yeah, Henley's still
think
in there.
I still got to play Henley though out of these guys.
And then give me Murphy over Russo. I'm not a Russo guy at all. I never have been, and he just disappears too much for me. Give me the
Yeah,
tackles with Murphy.
and the Chiefs offense has done a good job avoiding sacks and so forth, even as Simmons has been out, the rookie Moore playing and so forth. So I'm with you on that. Winters, Henley, and Murphy are the three we're going with. Rougarou. Good luck to you, sir. Drew Van Camp. Hey, Drew, I need to drop one. This is for rest of season redraft with 1, 2, 3 scoring. Sweat, Benito, Thule, Latu, or Yaya. Which one should I drop?
It's not Benito.
It's not. I was about to say the same thing.
I actually like Latu, so I'm keeping him.
I'm not giving up on Latu either. Sweat had that run of sacks, and then he kind of has, falling off because he tends to be more of a sack or bust. Yaya, I still like Yaya's upside. I feel
I
good
like
about
Yaya
it.
as well. Thule, I'm not as sold on, but this week I am sold on.
Yeah, so if you're playing Thule this week because of the matchup against the Titans, then
Yeah,
I'd probably drop in Sweat.
yeah. But it's between Sweat and Thule for me as to which to drop for the rest of the year. And I
I'd
would
almost
probably,
drop Sweat because I don't think he'll do much against the Cowboys anyway.
yeah,
And so, and Thule, I would want to play this week, quite frankly, against
yeah,
Tennessee.
this week. But outside of this matchup, his sacks haven't been the greatest, but he's still a young player. Where Sweat is the older guy, so yeah, I'm with you. Drop Sweat.
It is rest of season, though, of course.
Yeah, that's fine. Thule plays opposite of Khalil Mack. Sweat is in a four-man rotation, so I'll still take Thule over Sweat.
All right, we have Edward here, and Edward has been having fun with me, making fun about how when I get so passionate during the IDP advice show that we record on Tuesday nights that I hit my hands on the desk and so forth. So,
Yeah.
Edward, I've been enjoying that, man. Appreciate the feedback and so forth. I didn't realize I was doing this, so thanks for letting me know that. And I'm still trying to let you know where I feel passionate about folks without slamming the desk.
Yeah,
But pick
he's going to
four.
start doing this from now on.
Well,
So
I talk with my hands a lot, as everybody knows, if you watch and not just listen. Um, I'm from Louisiana. You tie my hands behind my back, I can't talk. Okay, so pick four, tackle heavy. Rashawn Gary, Jihad Campbell, Peyton Wilson, Eric Wilson, Tatum Bethune in tackle heavy. And I think this is an easy one for me.
who are you dropping?
Oh, it's not a drop in my in terms of who Jihad Campbell is who I'm not playing this week.
Is it Jihad or Jack?
Oh, I was thinking Jihad right off the top. Edward, let us know if it's Jihad or Jack. We'll come back to your question, okay? Um, okay, well, let's do this. If it is, oh, it's 11:02 already. We got to go fast. Let's assume Jack for now. If it's Jihad, he's definitely
Yeah, if
he's
it's
the one I'm
Jihad,
dropping.
he's out. If it's Jack, um,
I
who's
think I'm
Gary?
seeing the defensive lineman.
Is that Rashad Gary or
I
Cedric
can't
Gray?
think.
Did we
Oh,
get
maybe he
this
means Cedric
dyslexic here?
Gray. Maybe it's because of linebackers.
You know what? I'm actually playing Rashad Gary anyway because, like I said, that Carolina offense just got decimated last week. So Gary's in.
That's a fair point. That is a very good point.
I might drop Eric Wilson out of these.
I don't know, man. The Lions can run the ball a lot.
Yeah, but you're not dropping Jack. If it's Jack,
No,
you're not dropping him. I'm not dropping Bethune.
not dropping Cedric Gray. So it's down to Peyton Wilson or Eric Wilson for me. I think you're right. Peyton Wilson is so efficient, and it's Malik Harrison, not Holcomb.
Yeah,
Malik Harrison just coming off IR. Eric Wilson it is as well. That was a tough one, Edward. Um, Drew says I need to drop one. Oh, we did that one already. My bad. Rugaroo. If Winners is out, the good news is Winners is in, so we are good. Marco from the future says good morning. Marco says Jameson Williams, Christian Kirk, Andre Yoshivas, or Coker. Pick one. Start one. It's got to be
JMO.
Jameson Williams. Yeah.
Yeah, JMO.
He's also asking Kirk or Brian Thomas, particularly with Travis Hunter on IR. It's Brian Thomas.
He's the
Agree,
big
Sean?
play. Yeah, Kirk is 3 catches, 20 yards.
Okay, another one from Marco, real quick. Jeremy Chin, Xavier McKinney, Kobe Bryant, Christian Gonzalez, Cam Curl, or Ivan Pace. Start one for my flex.
It's
To me,
between
it's
Curl and Chin.
Chin.
Yeah.
Think on that one. Curl against the Saints. He will be the thing about it. The Rams ended up playing. No, they actually did sit Curl late in the game of the last blowout as well.
Chin it is.
Shin slightly over Curl. If you don't believe our narrative that the Rams would blow out the Saints and thus Curl would be on the field for the whole game, then go with Curl. If you believe that narrative, go with Chin. Dominic, good to see Dominic again. Good morning to you, sir. You need to start one running back and one wide receiver. Monangai or Tyrone Tracy. Let's start that running back.
Monungai.
Monangai, I am with you as well. T. Higgins or Marvin Harrison Jr. With Brissett playing, expecting high scoring game.
Harrison Jr. for B. Higgins only got one pass last week.
He had one catch. Luckily, it was
Yeah.
a big 40-some yarder for a touchdown, but he only had one. And they're just throwing the heck out of the ball to Chase. I'm going to go with Harrison Jr. as well. So Monangai and Harrison Jr. Marco has another one for us. Start one out of Mustafa, Bernard, Davis Gaither, Jason Jones. I think he means Jalen Jones and Kalen Bullock.
Mustafa.
Even over the linebacker Bernard.
Yep.
We're going to split on this one. I'm going to go Bernard over Mustafa, Marco. Sorry to split it on you. Bernard is a little bit risky and has, the more I've just talked myself into Mustafa as well.
Bernard has done nothing, even in his
He's
good
done
game.
nothing.
Yeah.
He's linebacker 55 or something like that crazy. Okay, Ted is asking, hey, Ted, welcome. I don't know if we've had you before, unless you were under a different code name or something. Good morning to you, Ted. Ernest Jones, Tatum Bethune, or Quay Walker?
Only one. Ernest Jones. Slightly over Bethune.
I worry about Quay Walker and that quad injury that popped up in the middle of the week. I'm glad he's active and stuff, but that's why I have him a little bit lower. Jones or Bethune, Jones or Bethune, Jones or Bethune. I'm gonna go Jones.
Jones is liable to get you a bigger player where Bethune's just a tackle machine. That's
That's
a
a fair.
reasoning there.
That's a great argument. Okay, in a half point PPR, Gadsden or Ferguson this week? Another one of these Gadsden questions.
Give me Ferguson still. I just don't trust this matchup this week.
Again, the
The
Chargers
Titans.
against the Titans.
Yeah, like I say, the Titans have not given up a lot of points to tight ends.
Yeah. Okay, Ferguson it is. And Rugaru saying Flacco's in looking for a shootout. Really Rocket, who's new. And boy, we're going to do a couple more folks and we have to wrap it up. Sorry about that because it's already 7 minutes past top of the hour.
I've already set up my lineups. I'm good this week.
I am not, unfortunately. I'm in hate watch league where every player starts with 30 and loses points for doing good. Oh, it's one of those opposite leagues. So which one's going to do worse out of JMO or Quentin Johnston? I think it's going to be
Johnson.
Quentin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Quentin Johnson.
Start Fannin or Kincaid in a who's going to do worse league. I think it's Kincaid's going to do worse.
Fannon's on a bye, right?
Oh, Fannin's.
That's 0 points. Oh,
so he doesn't lose.
So is Kincaid going to do slightly better than that?
Yeah. Yes, I think he will.
Yeah, you take Kincaid.
All right. Nissan Rob says, just added Barrett Carter off the wire and feels like I stole something. You certainly did, man. Shame on your competition, but good for you. Okay, that is quite the steal. All right, uh, help choose one for. I got to learn how to say this name because he's there every weekend. We love him being a regular for us. Imanwari, Bayard, Lassiter, Lenore. I'm looking for tackles.
For tackles, it's between the last two for me. Lassiter,
Yeah,
Lenore.
I'm going Lassiter.
I'm going Lassiter as well. I think he's good for 5-6 tackles this week.
John Carlos is Peyton Wilson startable with Holcomb out? Yeah, John Carlos. We were talking about this earlier. We still think he's startable, even more so, slightly more so with Holcomb out. We do think Malik Harrison does take some of his snaps. Blaze is asking J.K. Dobbins, Jacoby Myers, or DJ Moore in a PPRs.
Dobbins.
Yeah. Even more in that matchup, you can't trust him. Myers hasn't done really much. Bauer's back is J.K. Dobbins as well. And John Carlos, keep banging your hands, my friend. John Carlos came to my defense when Edwards giving me a hard time.
We're going to get Ricky some bongos. That way it's not his desk. It's
thank you, John Carlos. You're awesome, dude. Noel says Slayton or Jamison Williams.
JMO
as well. I cannot trust Slayton. I'm with you there. Marco, talking with hands sounds like you're from Naples, Italy. Yes, I've been asked if I have French descent or Italian. I'm actually French descent, but yeah, all from that that romantic area region where we talk with our hands. Marco, you're welcome for the advice. Nadir is new. Devin White or Montez Sweat? I think this is easy. We're going with Devin White here.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Ted. I'm trying to wrap up really fast, as you can see. Rest of season, there's the scoring system. Ernest Jones, Sherwood, Dotson, Bethune, Quay Walker. That is an embarrassment of riches. You are in good shape.
What's the question here? Am I ranking
I don't
them?
see the question, though.
Okay.
I don't know what it is. But you're in great shape at linebacker is what I'd say based on all of that.
Yeah.
Last question. Barrett Carter or Ernest Jones?
I'm going to take Ernest Jones again.
Towards Jones.
Yeah.
Barrett Carter should do well also, but we slightly leaning Ernest Jones on that one. Okay, with that, y'all, thank y'all very much for joining us. Once again, though, IDP Advice Show, remember, check it out on Wednesday mornings. We're giving some really great information in those shows. We really break down alignments, snap counts, deep safeties, all that kind of fun stuff that can really help you out. And also, we do some education as part of it as well. So be sure to check out our IDP Advice Show. That wraps up this show. Give me a follow at Ricky Rod 66 and Shawn at 8386, excuse me on that one. We'll be back for the Start Sit show next week for week 10 at the same time on this same channel. So on behalf of Shawn Teague, this is Ricky Rodrigue wishing you, your family, and your friends great health and happiness. Be kind to one another and good luck in week 9.